chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Olanipekun Olu-koyede, has been petitioned over the conduct of his personnel who allegedly raided the residence of an Abia-based economist and contractor, Mr. Ugochukwu Eze-an-yagu, in breach of the law. The officials allegedly accused Eze-an-yagu of being an internet fraudster, but later apologized when they found no evidence to support their claims. They reportedly asked him if he was the owner of a Mercedes SUV and a Toyota Corolla parked in the compound. Before leaving, the officials allegedly stole bottles of wine from his fridge and slapped his security guard. Eze-an-yagu, describing the EFCC actions as criminal trespass, unlawful invasion of privacy, criminal intimidation, assault and theft, is demanding justice, including 150 million naira in compensation for the trauma and humiliation suffered by him and his family. He is also seeking a public apology from the EFCC officials in the raid. Eze-an-yagu claimed that he and his 8-month pregnant wife have been in an unstable condition, petrified and experiencing serious psychological trauma since the incident. We state in clear terms that every Nigerian deserves to be treated with dignity and with due regard to his or her constitutionally guaranteed rights. The criminal trespass of the EFCC men to our client's house at such an ungodly hour of 2 a.m. on the 9th of December 6, 2024 remains questionable, suspicious, and should be probed very seriously, the petition noted in part. Our client's right to privacy was violated. He and his wife were intimidated, assaulted, manhandled, and humiliated. The EFCC men came without a search warrant. Their mission was illegal, and it proved to be. They found nothing incriminating against our client. Instead, as common thieves and criminals that they turned out to be, they shamelessly stole wines from our client's bars. We write this petition mindful of the fact that lawful law enforcement agents in our country, Nigeria, must not be allowed to paint a very gory picture of the country's image. It is embarrassing that for an elite institution like the EFCC, its officials could claim to be acting on an intel that turned out not only to be fake, but a mission for housebreaking and stealing, assaults, and the like. We just left one law enforcement and security. We're right now in this security agency. What are your thoughts on this story? This is a developing story. What are your thoughts? Because, you know, over time, we've heard of this EFCC raid. Yeah. They go into people's houses. They go into people's hotels. What are your thoughts on this?
Firstly, the time took me off. Like, the time they got there, 2 a.m. You got an intel and you went to a family, not like, okay, let me not say it's not a club, it's not a company, it's not a place that is running, it's a home, and you're going there to raid it at 2 a.m. without a warrant. You're saying you got an intel. For me, I think there's something shady. I don't know. I think there's a shady business in there. Probably they did not even accomplish their mission. Right. It was caught halfway, I think, because you can't go to someone's house by 2 a.m. because you want to raid the place. You got an intel, no warrant, you just got there and you now even stole. I think they wanted to do something that they couldn't do. Probably God saved the family.
What are your thoughts on the bottle of wine theft?
I just say that I saw a policeman buying tombo and pouring it into buying one action bitter kind of thing and pouring it into the other thing. I think they want to get high, and I just feel like they act on impulse. You cannot just come to my house at 2 a.m. tell me you got an intel that something happened here, and then your mission was unaccomplished because you didn't see anything, and then you now took my wine and slapped my guy. That's high level of stupidity and high level of wanting to steal something, because like I said earlier, I think they have a mission that they didn't accomplish, and the anger of everything was what made them steal that stuff and slap the guard. What
are your thoughts on security of lives and property in Nigeria? How do you think the security agencies rate civilians as regards to, barging into people's houses in the night, slapping and assault? How do you perceive this abuse of power?
I actually think they see civilians like animals. For me, I think so, because we just got from a case where someone was killed because of knockout. And then we're here where you barge into someone's house at 2 a.m. because you got an intel, and then you didn't just leave. Okay, fine, we understand. Maybe you got an intel and then you got there. What you were supposed to see, you didn't see. Why didn't you just leave? You still used your power to slap somebody, and now still. I think we're being seen as peasants. Like, we're seen as ants in their eyes. Just like they say, we're like pencil in the hand of creator. We are like ants in the eyes of police, or maybe the forces, because they have this thing about maltreating and malhandling people, and they are so used to it. I think they see probably the people out, the higher people are doing it, so they follow suit, because you can't just learn something on your own in the force. I think they see what others are doing.
Are you saying that the rot comes from above?
Yes, it falls like the tree. When it grows, some fruit will fall down. So I think it comes from up, because I'm sure, I don't know if they're really EFCC people or whatever they are, but I think they learned from above. They learned from the higher people, and they are replicating what
now
they
just
learned.
hold on to that touch. You said something about not knowing if they are real EFCC people.
Yeah.
Now, do you think this raid on hotels and clubs and all of this, do you think there's ever a time it's not EFCC? Because now it's getting difficult to differentiate between when it's EFCC and when it's a criminal raid.
Yeah.
Right? What are your thoughts on the ungodly hour raids of people's houses, raiding of hotels, packing up of people's phones? And sometimes they often bring these people and say, we arrested so amount of people from this, that hotel. They had this card, we got this amount of cars, sometimes they're actually able to find, fraudsters and co in those gatherings where they do those raids now. But other than that, do you think the timing with which they go, when I check into a hotel, I'm expecting that I'm being safe, I'm being, I'm being protected in that area. When they come into such areas to clamp people, go into this man's house now to clamp him, cause a scare, for him and his pregnant wife. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the hour is very ungodly, firstly, and for a club, most of those clubs, I used to believe they have this thing whereby they get, they are licensed to do that. I don't know if they are or not, but I used to feel like every club, probably, or hotels or business places, they are licensed.
They do have a license.
So if you have an intel of something, I don't think you should come and make everybody feel unsafe. If you have, you have an intel so person, probably if you have a specific person you're going for, you go for the person, but not at that like a hotel. You come into my hotel and you want to wake all my guests just because you got an intel that so person is. And
they do badge into all of the rooms.
Like it's a quarrel. Like I feel like it's a very bad hour to do that. And for me, I used to think that EFCC or whomever is up there, I think some people are trying to do the job for them. Like some boys, they just sold, because this clothes can be sewn. They could just sew that clothes and then go to places and pretend to be EFCC. I think they've done a bad job to the extent where people do what they do and make it worse. Yeah, so I just think that it's a very ungodly hour, and people are now taking business from them.
So what do you think can be done to prevent things like this? Because it's becoming so prevalent in recent times.
Like I said about the former policeman that killed someone, there should be something that has to cover how they are to raid a place, when they are to raid a place, and the way to do it. And if you do it, and this thing you're doing is beyond what you're supposed to do, you should be sanctioned or punished for that. But I don't think they do that. So I don't know if they could be punished for raiding a place, and that this your intel is not clear, it's not certain, and you're going there at a very ungodly hour and you're doing your own business in the government business. I think you should be sanctioned or punished for that.